Hi everyone! This was a challenge where I will try to create a world generator in less than 24 hours, which I made it in 19 hours. I am very happy with the results, and the most important, that I've learned a lot while doing this challenge. So let's get started! The first thing I did was open in Google and search for what is this? So once again, I opened Google and I searched for Procedural Textures. I found this cool website where I got to know more about procedural textures and check if this is what I needed. If I really could apply them to generate worlds, or I guess flying islands, which obviously I could. I even saw this little cat. Beep! The next step, I open Unity and I set a simple scene. I spawn a few planes where I will use them to generate a terrain, meaning that I would grab its vertices and change their height, according to the black and white image generated from a procedural texture. I started coding something that will create our texture and display it on the plane. There will be 4 different algorithms: the random, the ping pong, that I didn't know what other name to give, the purling noise, and the reverse, also another name that I randomly gave. Back at the editor, I pressed play. As we can see, there are 3 variables. One controls the texture width, while the other the texture height. Then we can choose the algorithm to generate our procedural texture. Let's start with the random. You can see that each algorithm has its proper settings. For example, this one, you can change the seed. Then we got the algorithm ping pong, where we also have different types of settings. Just after that, we got the famous purling noise. And for last, we got the algorithm, the reverse. I also added limits to the output. This way I could control the minimum value, as well the maximum value for the black and white color. Then I coded something that will translate the color value of each vertex to a certain height. But notice that the texture is inverted. We need to flip it. And just after inverting the value, this was the result. The more darker the color is, the more close to the minimum height is. On the other side, the more brighter the color is, the more close to the maximum height is. I opened Blender and I created a basic model, so I could use it as default instead of a plane. This model will have 2 important sides, the island surface and the bottom of the island. I wrote something that will detect the vertices of both sides, the surface and the bottom. Importing the model and testing it, immediately we knew something wrong was up. Everything was almost working fine, though we could notice that the edges of the island weren't working like expected. We could also notice that the model orientation was messing up with the texture. Back to the Blender, I fixed the orientation and made all faces triangles. And then I discovered that still it wasn't working, all because of a break. Now it works! Hooray! Oh, but wait, it's not done yet. We still have more to do. But this was the result expected, at least for now. I wanted the edges to be smooth, so I coded something, a really cool feature, to lower down the edges. And this was the result. Activating the generator and activating the lower edges, you can see it become smooth on the edges. And a really cool fact, I don't know how I made this, but it also works on the bottom of the island somehow. I'm actually impressed with it and surprised how is it working. Wow, I made this, right? Or did I steal from someone? Forget that I said that. And now the moment of truth. In Blender, I've created another model, this time a bit more round, like a circle. Well, yeah, a circle. And testing it, to my surprise, it worked! In the next step, I wanted to paint a terrain, so it looks more pleasant, instead of black and white. After writing the code and testing it, activating the painting, well, yeah, for now I made it to be random. But I also made an algorithm that will pick a color according to the height of the current vertex. This color could be configured here, so at the minimum height the color could be green, for example the grass. Then gray at the medium height, so it could be the rocks. Then white at the top, for example the snow. Oh my god, it's our planet, Earth! It's flat! We were wrong! After all this time! Gotta delete this. I've spent some time messing with the settings, to try new stuff. Since I didn't want to make everything manually, I wrote something that will create automatically the islands. Though the bottom of the island looks a bit ugly, so what I wrote was the next. If the angle of a normal was facing down, the vertex will be painted grey. And this was the result. So, I finished the challenge! I am very happy with the result, though I still had a few more hours left, but I will definitely continue this world generator. I had fun doing it, and I'm very curious to see to what level I can take it. But yeah, this is it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really means a lot. Thank you for watching, see you next time, bye for now.